All right, let's talk about two words you definitely heard in school, but maybe never realized had a secret power hiding inside: perimeter and area. We're going to make these concepts super clear, totally memorable, and honestly, kind of powerful. Okay, let's just dive right in with a simple question. Imagine you've got exactly 20 meters of fence. Your job is to build a rectangular garden with the absolute biggest, most spacious area for your plants. How do you do it? Well, the answer is hiding in that difference between perimeter and area. So, to solve our garden puzzle, we first need to get crystal clear on what these two words actually mean. And that brings us to our first section: the fence versus the grass. This is probably the easiest way to lock this in your brain forever. The perimeter? That's the fence. It's what you build around the edge of the garden. It's just the boundary. The area? That's all the grass, all the soil, all the space inside that fence. One is the border, the other is the space it holds. And this slide just breaks that difference down perfectly. See? Perimeter is the edge. It's basically a one-dimensional line you could walk along, and you'd measure it in simple units, like meters. But area is the space. It's a two-dimensional surface you can actually stand on, and that's exactly why we measure it in square meters. So you see, they're not just different math problems, they're describing completely different things. So we know what they are in our heads, but how do we actually, calculate them? Let's move on to section 2, the simple formulas. Calculating the perimeter for a rectangle is a super simple two-step deal. First, you just add the length and the width together. Then you multiply that number by 2. Why? Because a rectangle's got 2 lengths and 2 widths. That's it. P equals 2 times length plus width. Easy. And you thought that was easy? Area is even simpler. It's just one step. You just multiply the length by the width, and you're done. That one calculation, L times W, gives you the entire surface inside the border. So one formula is for the trip around the edge, and the other measures the whole space inside. Now, hold on. Before we solve our garden puzzle, there's one absolutely critical detail we cannot skip. This is a common trap, so let's cover it in section 3, the golden rule of units. Okay, so here's the deal, and this is super important. Perimeter is a length, so its units are simple: meters, feet, whatever. But area is a surface, so its units are always squared. Square meters, square feet. You see that little 2 up there? It's not just for looks, it's the thing that tells the whole world you're talking about a surface, not just a line. And this is why it's such a big deal. You gotta remember this. If you forget the square, you aren't really talking about area anymore. Saying an area is 25 meters is just, well, it's wrong. That's a length. But 25 square meters, now you're correctly describing the amount of space. It's a tiny detail that changes literally everything. Okay, we've got the definitions, we've got the formulas, and we've got the golden rule of units. Now it's time for the big reveal. Let's finally solve our garden problem and uncover section 4, the square's secret power. Let's go all the way back to our 20 meters of fence. The perimeter is fixed. It's 20, period. But we can make lots of different rectangles with that fence, can't we? So what happens to the area, all that nice grass, when we start messing with the shape of the garden? Okay, now look at this table. This is where it gets really interesting. First, let's build a long, skinny garden, say 1 meter wide by 9 meters long. You add up the sides, perimeter is 20 meters. Perfect. But the area inside? A measly 9 square meters. Now, let's use that exact same 20 meters of fence to build a perfect square, 5 meters by 5 meters. The perimeter is still 20 meters, but whoa, look at the area. It's 25 square meters. And this bar chart just makes the difference impossible to ignore. I mean, it's not a small improvement. For the exact same amount of fence, the square shape gives you nearly 3 times more gardening space. That's not just a little better. That is a huge, huge increase in efficiency. So what this all reveals is a fundamental law of math. For any given amount of fence, for any fixed perimeter, a square is the most efficient rectangle you can possibly build. It will always give you the absolute maximum area. And this isn't just some weird math problem. This stuff is all around you. I mean, why are so many rooms and houses built as squares or something close to a square? It's all about efficiency. It gives you the most floor space, the most area, for the least amount of wall material, which is the perimeter. It's engineering and economics, all guided by one simple geometric truth. So, we solved the garden problem, and we found the secret power of the square. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other design secrets are shaping our entire world, hidden right there in plain sight, all because of the beautiful rules of basic math?